Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, our next matter is entitled Matthew Barth versus Fred Fadley, Fadely. This matter is set for 9:30. It's 9:29. Mr. Barth, I'll try not to pass out from the flicker of that ceiling fan.
I'm sorry, sir. Your Honor.
But let's talk about this. Mr. Fadley is in the same house as you are on Peeler Street. He refused service, although he was there. And so you wish him to move. It's unlikely that he's going to show up. What's the circumstance here?
The circumstances are quite complicated. His ex-girlfriend was a friend of mine. She said she was in a violent relationship. So I offered her a place to stay till she got on her feet. And she is a pathological liar. She moved in and lied about, it's a long story, Your Honor. Anyway,
so she moved in and then she moved him in?
Yes. And the story behind that, he was only supposed to be here for a month, which I agreed to, while supposedly an apartment was getting ready for him to move into. And next thing I know, he is moving toolboxes and everything into my basement, into the house. And
so he's not paying any rent, he refuses service, and he refuses to move?
That is correct. And his ex-girlfriend has moved out since May, and I've asked him to move since then. And
what was her name?
Autumn Behringer. He goes by several names, I believe.
All right, so he moved in with her. She moves out in May. He's been there since May, refuses to pay rent and refuses to move.
Not that he refuses to pay rent, Your Honor. Since the day he moved in, I told him that he needed to get a job, which to the day he has not had a tax job for over 4 years. And I told him that day that I talked to him in the truck, say you can stay here till you get yourself on your feet again or till your apartment's ready.
Well, I would recommend that you get out of the landlord-tenant business. You don't have a lease.
No.
And he's there as a squatter, and he's not paying rent, and he won't accept service, and he won't move.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the law says I have to continue this for 7 days. Yes?
Can I mention something too?
Yes.
I have talked to his previous tenant, and they had to go through the same thing I have done, and that was in Schoolcraft, or I believe it was Schoolcraft Township on VW Avenue, and I don't have the exact address, but it's right off Porter Street on VW Avenue, and they ended up having to have the police come and take him out of there because he would not leave. And
well, it sounds like you're going to have to do it again. So we have to continue this matter until next Friday, October 27th. Continue to October 27th, 2023 at 10:50. Now, if he had been personally served, I could do a default.
He has been personally served.
No, he wasn't.
He refused to answer the door. I have a text message saying I refuse to take any mail today.
All right. Well, that's not personal service. So again, you got in over your head. This goes under the category of no good deed goes unpunished. He's going to get an additional 10 days from that day. So you won't be able to evict him until October 6th or November 6th.
I'm sorry. What does that mean, Your Honor?
It means you should get out of the landlord-tenant business because you don't know what you're doing. But he gets 10 days from today to have another hearing. At that hearing, I would give him 10 days to move or he was subject to being evicted. If he doesn't move, you come to the courthouse and bring $15 and I execute a writ of eviction. And the sheriff will come, pull him out of there and put all his stuff out on the street. Apparently he's been through this before, but that's what the end result of a landlord-tenant hearing is. If the defendant won't move, they're subject to eviction, which is a forcible removal by the sheriff, sometimes called a writ of restitution. So let me repeat, I'm going to continue this for 7 days because the law requires that I do that when he's served by attachment. 7 days from today is next Friday, October 27th at 10:50 a.m. If you get what you ask for, he would get 10 days from that day to move, which would be October the 6th, which is a Friday.
Oh, it can't
So
be
it's a-
October, Your Honor.
Excuse me, November 6th. November 6th is a Monday. Boy, I'm sure messing up my months.
Your Honor.
Boy, I'm all over the map today. Maybe I'll just for having my granddaughter spend the night. Anyway, he would have until November 6th to move or be subject to being evicted. So I will see you next Friday by Zoom like this, once again at 10:50 in the morning.
Thank
You
you,
got
Your
it.
Honor.
You're stuck with him for 17 more days.
That's fine, Your Honor, as long as it's not hopefully 4 months like he says he can drag it out to.
No. All right. I'll see you next Friday.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. People certainly get themselves into problems.